So what was young Tariq like?
Oh, well, I was the oldest of 5, so I had a lot of responsibilities. Definitely, my parents, they were like hustlers. They will be out like selling stuff. Like I remember the Olympics in '96, and they would set up and sell pins and T-shirts and all type of stuff.
Wow.
So from a early age, and I was like about 10 or something at that time, but I was selling too, and I remember that. So early Tariq was definitely learning how to, get on his grind. I kind of fell back on that and became a worker bee as I grew up. But I'm learning more about just being self-sufficient and just being an entrepreneurial, having that spirit, to work for yourself and to own something. So
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
But young me was, I don't know, I was a nerd, bro. I was playing Pokemon and stuff like that.
Yeah,
way
gamer.
too old. I don't know.
What else? Zelda, Nintendo, Mario, all that stuff, Sonic?
It was actually Sega. Yeah, because
Sega.
my
There you go.
uncle gave me a Sega. I remember, that was like in the 90s, but we moved up to Seattle, and my uncle Chris, he gave me a Sega, and I was a Sega guy for a minute. I remember
Yeah.
Game Gear.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
the homies had Nintendos and stuff, but
Yep.
after he gave me that Sega, I guess I was just on the Sega side.
Sure.
Dreamcast. I had a couple different Sega products.
Yeah, Dreamcast was such a great system, and then their downfall, of course, was like they didn't have security set, so people were able to just pirate the games and stuff like that, and just copy a CD.
Yeah.
That was like a big oversight, right?
Got you. I really don't even remember, to be honest. It was like high school age, but I just remember it just being a dope system, and some of the fighting games, some of the Street Fighter games for sure was like really sick.
Yeah.
And I remember my little brother he inherited a lot of my stuff, like when I went to college type moves. So
Yeah.
he had all those systems, and then he had all my I'm getting too big for having all these Legos. Here you go, bro.
Yeah.
Collection.
Bro, I can
Now
totally...
my kids, I look at their collection, I'm like, damn, my collection was just like 3 Legos to this.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it's supposed to be, right? We try to strive to present to them better than what we had, even if we had, we're grateful for what we had growing up, but we strive for the greatest, for our little ones, which is, again,
of course,
it's an
man.
honor, man, And I was also a Sega guy too. That was the first system that I owned, Sega Genesis, and one of my earliest video game memories. Indeed, I think we got it for Christmas, and I remember playing. We lived in Yonkers,
I think so too.
New York at the time. Same thing, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he just brought it one day. He was like, here.
Yeah.
Christmas type thing. And I was like, what? It was like a whole pack. It was like the Genesis and then a few games.
Yeah.
I was about to say Mario, but Sonic 1 and 2 type energy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man.
This is about to change your life right here, right?
Right?
Yeah.
NBA, what was the one? NBA Jam or something where you be dunking from like half court and stuff.
Yep. Totally, man.
He's on fire.
Good
And this is like Seattle. When I lived in Seattle, this is like when Gary Payton and Sean Kemp.
Oh, yeah.
So
okay.
that energy. Yeah, I remember that.
Those codes in NBA Jam were dope because I remember Bill Clinton and like a lot of celebrities, presidents and stuff that you can play as. You remember that at all?
Man, I kind of don't remember that, but that's sick. I wish they bring it back. It would be crazy.
Seriously, man, it was super dope. And I was going to say too, Sonic the Hedgehog, first time playing that game on Christmas, I remember obviously a staple in that game are the loops, right? And so I'm playing as a little kid. I'm like trying to figure out how do I get past this thing. I'm like walking. It's like not happening. My mom was like, oh, Kevin, why don't you just try running really fast? I was like, oh, let me try it. And then did it. And then I was like, wow, thank you. It's like a weird memory, you know what I'm saying? Just like thinking back 30 or however many years ago. But there you go, right?
Nah, I still remember like living in Seattle and seeing like computers for the first time and seeing like Oregon Trail, and like
Oregon Trail,
and seeing Mist. I remember there was a game called Mist, and it was like the most 3D like awesome looking game. But now I look back and the graphics just look like yeah. But back then it was
Great
like what is this? Yeah, like crazy.
What was your first introduction to teenage engineering gear? What did you get first?
Damn, that's a good question. I think it was It was the OP1, I think.
Okay. I think most people
Yeah, I
probably
was in
right.
LA. Huh?
I said I think most people probably might have the OP1, the original OP, being there first. So that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the Nam they debuted it. I
Mm,
remember that energy. I remember I was like, "What is this?"
wow.
And I still think it's like a kind of a hipster toy, but it's like the coolest hipster toy. So,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. For sure.
But yeah, man, I think I got it. It's been some years now, but I got it from a kid, and he was like, "Man, I barely used it," and I got it for like a pretty good deal. So.
Wow, wow.
And then right after I got it, I got a OPZ, and I was like trying to just like use both of those and learn both of the workflows, but they're completely different.
So different, right? Totally
It's
different.
so different.
Yes.
It's so different. I vibe with the OPZ a little bit, but I ended up letting it go. I kept the OP1. It's like one of those items that it's just like there's a few items in my studio that I can't let them go because it's like I use them almost every day. Like my OP1 is right behind me because
Word. Yeah.
I basically be taking synths from it. Sometimes I've been messing with the octatrack lately, and I would just take a drums from the OP1. I would just like go like bam, 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 different hits,
Yeah.
and then chop them up in the octatrack. And it's just such a it's just I could use it every day. Like I was using it with my SP1200 when I was on the SP1200 heavy because it's just right there. It's immediate. So. Is the limitations is dope, but yeah, sometimes I'm like, I wish I had 8 tracks here, but yeah, it is what it is.
Wait, so I want to dive a little bit more into the OP1. So it sounds so far what you shared, you use it sort of extensively with other gear. Have you ever experienced, or do you ever experiment like just having it stand alone, just like mess around with it by itself?
Yeah, I just use like the make beats with the tape,
Yeah,
but
okay.
it always messes with me because I'll make something and I don't want to get rid of it off the tape, so I'll be like, damn, like I want to make something else.
Yeah,
but
what do I
wanna
do
keep
now?
this here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could just bounce it to your computer, but hey. Sometimes I'm anti-computer. I'm just like over here in the hardware realm, but it always ends up in the computer at the end of the day.
And what do you use on the computer? Which DAW? Mostly.
Mostly Ableton and Pro Tools.
Yeah, okay.
I was Pro Tools till like 2015 or something. Then my computer stopped working with it, and then I just went heavy on Ableton.
Yeah, yeah.
I just remember all those Davies Beck
Who's
seminars and stuff.
Oh, like a person who
teaching people.
teaches about Ableton?
Yeah, it's like a brother who taught Ableton. He was like basically like
Wow.
one of the OG like black instructors who
Oh,
was like
cool.
pushing Ableton.
Wow.
And then pushing other equipment too. I'm pretty sure he was pushing Electron stuff at one point. He's just like kind of like how the space that a lot of us like content creators or like guys are trying to get into, like he was doing that shit like 15, 20 years ago.
That's very
Yeah,
cool.
so-
So you kind of watched some of his stuff, and that kind of introduced you to and taught you about how to use
Ableton for
Ableton.
sure. Yeah, man.
cool.
Because LA, man, a lot of people were using Ableton. They were like, man, you can use Ableton.
Yeah.
And when I first started, I had somebody had gave me like a crack version of Reason or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
There's a little one there. No, we got to keep
yeah,
that. We keep that in.
the 2-year-old is coming.
There you go. There you go. Boy or girl?
Yeah. It's a boy. His name is Tennessee.
Hey, what's going on?
Why are you screaming?
Hey, how are you?
It's happening like over here. Yeah, we're on a podcast.
Yeah, what's going on? Happy birthday.
He said happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I
You're welcome.
appreciate that.
No problem.
Sorry for your guys' interview. I just had to go.
It's all good. All good. We keep that right in there. Keeping it right in.
Yeah,
But-
it's real. Hypebeast's dad. That's why.
That's it, man. That's it.
Hypebeast's dad channel.
Right. Oh yeah. All right. That's ringing a bell.
Nonstop.
That's how our paths crossed because you hit me up on YouTube first, and then I think
Yeah,
on
man. I was
Instagram.
hitting you up because you were like, "Hey, man, I'm the newest teenage engineering I
Mentor.
don't remember the word you said.
Mentor.
Yeah,
On the-
and I
on
was
the-
like, man, I want to do that because I had hit up Tobias or whatever his name is,
Tobias,
hella
yep.
times, and I'm like, bro, you should let me do this. I'm trying to get some stuff popping in Colorado because there's like people that use TE gear. I have homies that like use like the little POs and like be doing some crazy stuff.
Is that right? I want to start.
But we never have
right
events.
Okay.
Oh man, I got one.
You do, yeah. That's next on my list.
Yeah. I haven't played with it too often
Gotcha.
recently, but I love it. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's just one of those esoteric things that if you don't play with it a lot, you kind of lose how to do it. So you'll come back and you're like trying to figure it out and like using YouTube videos and you're like, man, I don't have time for all this.
Gotcha.
I got to get in and get out.
Gotcha. And that's kind of like how, like, because I love the OPZ so much. I was told from some people online that like the OPZ uses a lot of like this in its workflow and stuff like that. And so I got my hands on a few of these. The KO, the Rhythm, and then whatever this one is, the Arcade. So these are literally on. I
never got past the KO.
Okay, I probably should start.
This is the sampler one.
I thought. I mean, I don't know really even the first thing about these, but I know that if you know one, like if you know the workflow, it's kind of similar on all of them, but there's like one special thing about each of them or something like that. I just need to spend some time learning it through and stuff. But tell me more. So you said you hit up Tobias. So you were interested in doing some like get-togethers and stuff in your area for TE.
Yeah, just doing more. Like I know they have like a Ableton, club or something out here, but they don't really do events. And one thing, like I'm from LA, but I've been in Colorado for 10 years. I was in the military at first, and then I just ended up just after I got out. We already bought a house, so I was like, man, let's just try to make it work out here.
Sure.
10 years later, I'm still here.
Do you like it? In Colorado?
It's cool, man. It's beautiful. It's like I love the outdoors. I love the nature and stuff.
Nice, man.
It's a little boring where I live. It's like basically Colorado Springs or a little south of the Springs, and it's kind of a little boring, a little chill. But being a family guy, father, it's perfect for that.
That's awesome, man. I haven't been out there before. I know when you said Colorado Springs, I know when I used to work at Verizon back in the day, one of our offices was out there. So I know some people on my team used to always kind of go out. But I know Colorado definitely I like to ski as well. So I know one of my close friends goes out there quite often. And so we've already been talking.
Oh, man, you need to come, bro. I've been telling people I wanted to have like it was for when I was working in firearms, but I've been wanting to do it with the music too. Is have like a producer meetup.
Oh yeah,
where we go, go skiing or something.
Yeah.
Then we all also bring some gear and
1,000%. And yeah, so it's good to know. I know you mentioned Mountain Time when we were setting this up, but I didn't know exactly which part. So that's good to know because I definitely will make it out there eventually, if not for that reason.
Yeah, man. Come down. I have an event called No-Fi. It's like a beat cipher, and it's like my version of what I would feel like the low-end theory, what Daddy Kev had created in LA.
Wow.
And so I try to do it every month. This month we didn't have one, but next month we already secured our location. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we just always just grinding. Yeah, man. And then up in Denver, my boy Face to Feet, he has an event every Thursday called Beats Bodega, and it's really growing.
Tell me about both of these. The first one, a cipher, meaning you got in-person location.
Yeah.
You guys are talk to me about what that looks like. That sounds really cool.
So that's just basically Colorado Springs beat makers. We definitely get other people from other places, but it's mostly the people from Springs. And we just come together and we play beats. We have hip hop artists. We have people rapping, but it hasn't built up the rapping part down here for some reason. Some people freestyle, but I don't know. But it's mostly just producers playing their stuff, having a place to showcase themselves.
Really cool, man.
And for me, it's just a chance to promote something, but also to create a lane for us because a lot of times we're just in our basements, like me right now. I'm just in my basement. Like I'm just a regular guy who works a 9 to 5, who still hasn't gave up, Yeah, like I remember when I was like 15 or 16, I met Kobe, and this was like
What?
the craziest Kobe story.
What?
But I met Kobe in the Fox Hills Mall. And I'm there with my mom because we're buying basketball shoes for me play basketball. I used to be a hooper, you know? Or I guess I still am, but I'm kind of lazy with it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I feel like if someone's like, hey, we're gonna go play basketball, I'll be about that life.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't go every
Gotcha.
week like I should or I used to. You know, knees hurt.
I
And
get
stuff.
it, man. I get it.
But hey, I still like the. I'm thinking about like let's get some guys, some older guys together. Let's go hoop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know where I was going.
No,
with that,
Kobe
so.
Bryant. Kobe Bryant. That's where you were going.
Oh yeah, so Kobe.
Yeah.
I met Kobe at like 15, bro. And when I think back about it, like Kobe is only like 8 or 9 years older than me, but he seemed like so mythical at that age, you know, like I was just like, what the hell? And he's just a regular dude, but I was so nervous. I'm over here in a corner just looking at some Adidas shoes. And my mom goes and talks to him, and he's like, that's your son? And for some reason, they kicked everybody out the store except me and my mom.
What?
Like, they were like, hey, Kobe's shopping. You know, we're closed right now. But for some reason, we were in there at the right time, and they didn't ask us to leave.
Crazy.
And it was just weird, but it was tight, like Kobe. And then my mom went and talked to him, and I'm over there all nervous, like, Kobe Bryant's right there, you know, because I'm really getting into basketball at that point. And, yeah, so I go over there, I talk to him, he's mad chill. I'm like, yeah, I'm looking at the shoes, I'm about to get some Adidas because of you know, you're Kobe, da-da-da-da. And he was basically like, man, don't you read the newspaper? I'm not with Adidas. And I'm like, hey, I'm 15, I don't read the newspaper,
right.
but maybe I should.
Yeah.
So I definitely got that newspaper probably. But after that, the main thing I took from that conversation was he was like, dream big. And so, like, even as I grow and, you know, I still dream big every day. I still want to be, you know, an owner, you know, have some land, you know, create some vinyls. That's one of my next things I'm trying to work on, get vinyl. You know, I just want to dream big, get this music out there. And I'm very independent, so I own all my stuff, which is important. But, you know, I'm definitely trying to play more. So I'm trying to tap in with people like you.
Yeah.
So I don't have to sample as much, bro, because I'm just like, you know, I'm looking at records right now. I love records, but I love synthesizers too, and I love just like trying to, you know, play some stuff. So
Man.
trying to learn these chords. I think yeah. I got this big
There you
ass
go.
book with a whole bunch of chords.
What does it say on top of encyclopedia? It says what are those two of them?
It's like picture chord encyclopedia.
Okay.
For the keyboard.
Gotcha. Well, all right. So a couple things.
Yeah, it just has
one. Dream big. I love that so much, and I love how.
Oh man,
you and I are.
You gotta live that.
We're talking now, and we both probably know because I'm that way. I'm a dream big guy as well. Took years, but I have ambitions. I have things that I want to do. I have things that I'm gonna do. But it's so important to realize two things. One, like who you share your dreams with, is you have to be mindful of that, right? Because sometimes like you might tell something to someone, and they're not a big dreamer necessarily, for example. And maybe they're not meeting that energy, and maybe if they're like, "Oh, you sure you can do that?" or "Are you know that," like kind of putting a little bit of doubt. So like being mindful, like protecting that. But then also, and this platform allows me to do that. That's why I really like when you were just mentioning the beat cipher that you said you guys do monthly. I'm like, that is so cool that you have that. You have this community thing. You have an in-person thing. I'm like, I would love to do something like that, and I have thought about that. But also, what I do currently have that it's virtual now, but I have this platform, right, to be able to sit down and have an hour-long conversation with someone like you across the country, who we have a lot in common.
Exactly.
And I'm just blessed that I have this. And you know, if I showed you some of the people on the list eventually that I want to have conversations with on here, that's down the road. But building this foundation right now, it's been great, man. It's been great. Been just enjoying this. I appreciate you taking the time out first off to, you know, chat with me today.
Of course, man. The platform you're building is awesome. My YouTube, I finally got to 1,000, but I haven't had much growth. So I'm trying to figure it out, bro. So I definitely will be tapping in with you on just ways that, you know, helped you grow and, you know, just different things. But, you know, everybody's growth is different. But, yeah, I'm definitely trying to, you know, get in that market too.
Definitely.
Be a content creator and, really, really show people, what I can bring.
Definitely. And I mean, what's interesting about that, and first of all, I'd be remiss if I didn't say congratulations again on the 1,000, because I was just talking to someone yesterday. We get to 100 subscribers. We get to 1,000, bro. We get to whatever, at 5,000. I think I'm at around 7,000 now. These milestones are
blessings. That's
thank you, bro. These milestones they're important to sit down and acknowledge. Do you know how challenging it is to get to 1,000? I mean, you do know. You just lived it. It's not easy to get to 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, and I'm still not monetized because I don't have enough watch hours
in a year.
If you guys are watching this thing, go watch my videos. I have hundreds of videos, bro.
Yeah.
You can watch 100 of them in a row, and I would give you a nice thumbs up and a hug,
digital hug.
A nice hug.
Well, let's talk about this for a second, because you have.
Yes, sir.
Would you say Instagram is your main platform?
Yeah.
Base, right?
And that one really blew up. So a couple years ago, I was doing this firearms. So I was a firearms instructor at a gun range locally, and I was on a TV show. I was on this TV show called Surviving.
Wow!
And now they're on like season 2, and I was basically, I don't want to say the only black person, but I was the only black person there.
Yeah.
But that opened some doors in that industry, and it kind of went crazy for a little while.
Wow. So that's still a major interest and passion of yours, still. Right?
Yeah. I'm definitely getting back on it, but I was trying to I don't know. I was more trying to focus on just creative things. I noticed when I was getting more love with that, I got more hate from just people I knew, why are you broadcasting this? And I'm like, bro, I'm just, but, and then some people might feel like it's a kind of mostly people who don't look like me, not non-melanated people in that industry, but it's really not. It's kind of getting more diverse. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of fell back from it for a minute just to kind of get my mind right. But I've been thinking about getting back on it. I don't know. We'll see. Right now I'm focused on just the music and getting back on drawing, because my bachelor's is in art.
Wow.
So I'm just trying to
visual art as
get back on my art.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do a lot of art, mostly on the iPad, Procreate.
Wow.
That's a key right there. iPad is so dope right now. I be running away from iOS stuff because I remember when it was corny and cheap and cheap feeling, but that stuff felt pro now. You could connect your iPad to a an interface or your SP404 or something, the Mach 2, because it's USB-C and it's just
super
limitless. I was thinking about doing this interview on my iPad, but then I saw how easy it was to do it on the computer, because I'm so not anti-computer, but it's just I start feeling how the old people feel, man, I gotta learn how to do this. But then I got on whatever you're running this through.
Yep. Riverside.
Riverside. I was like, what? This is easy as hell.
Yeah.
I was like, I could use my GoPro. Okay, boom, boom. I could use my audio interface. Boom, boom. Mic is already hooked up to my mixer back there. It was because I didn't prepare. I'm gonna be honest. I got up this morning. I was like, okay, I guess it's time to set this up. And sometimes you kind of dread that feeling, but it was so easy that I was like,
dude,
whoa,
I'm so glad to hear it, man. And yes, I mean the platform is really, really incredible. I've been having some conversations with them.
I think so too. I think I'm about to sign up, bro.
Hey, use that affiliate link.
Because I've been telling the homie face to feet. I'm like, bro, please do. I was like, man, we need to do a podcast. We need to do, because that's the wave, man. When I saw the one that you did with DiBiase, I was like, man, I gotta tap in with this brother, because DiBiase is he doesn't know it, but he's my big brother in beats, because this fool, I used to I remember used to bumping into him at Project Blow in Leimert Park. And then I found out later that him and Raj G both went to the same high school I graduated
Him and who? Raj?
So we went to a school. Raj G.
I'm not sure who that is. Who's that?
Raj G is a brother. He's he's like a pioneer in the beat making scene in
Wow.
LA.
Okay.
He's like very experimental. He passed away,
Oh.
but he had a big impact. He's the reason a lot of people are using 404s, SP 404s. I know everybody think they're hipster and like some guy from UK is the reason you're using them, but a lot of you guys are using them because of Rajji and DiBiase, but more Rajji.
Yeah.
Raji, he's a legend, but he went to the same high school, and I found out years later because they went to it before me, like years before me. But man, those guys are crazy, bruh.
Yeah.
And I think DiBiase is in like SAC or something, so it's like Bay Area. I was born in the Bay Area. I was born in Oakland, so I loved the Bay Area. I lived in, throughout there, and then Vallejo for a little while, but yeah.
Bro, that's awesome to hear, and I was thrilled to have him on it. I had a lot of conversation with him, and scheduling and stuff like that. It was like it was like months, maybe several months in the making to kind of get that going. So
I could just imagine.
Yeah, totally. But for me, what's dope about this is that now I've reached the point where I have confidence in what this platform is for me, for my guests, and for my audience. So I know that it's like it's gonna, once we do set it up, it's gonna be something that they're like, I'm glad that I actually did this. Like 9.9 out of 10 times is the feedback.
The fact that you asked me, I was literally probably within the next couple of days gonna be like, bro, can you?
Oh wow, yeah. Dope, man. So we were thinking the same.
Just
thing.
because I was peeping and I was watching the interviews and I'm like, man, these are really good. This is good content. This is really inspirational. Because sometimes you need that. You need that little, kick, that little, because you're like at work all day dreaming about, making beats or, creating something or making content. Or for me, it's just being in the nature. I just be like, I want to go drive up a mountain or something, like just do something different. But, yeah, sometimes you watch these videos and you're like, man, that's the little nugget that I needed.
So to that point, one of my main focuses right now is sort of declaring to myself that Khordmaster Keys is now taking more of a center stage of like the main thing that I'm doing, and everything else is kind of like will be like surrounding it. Like Khordmaster Keys becomes the nucleus now because it is the thing that it's not the thing that's going to get the most views. Like more views are going to be from a koala sampler tutorial on the iPad or OP1 or something someone's searching for. But it is the thing that like everything else that I'm interested in doing, including we didn't even talk about my tutoring business, which I'm gonna hit you up.
Oh, okay, yeah,
yeah, 1,000%, right? It's like all that stuff can kind of be integrated in the type of conversation that I enjoy having, whether it's with the musician / artist like yourself. Or someone who's not necessarily a creative, but maybe an entrepreneur or something like that. So it's been great, and I'm glad that we're finally doing this.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's important because at the end of the day, we're kind of making our own lanes. We're not really. it's like we're trying to be like certain people. Like I would love to, be like Dilla, but I'm not Dilla, or be like Large Pro or DJ Premier or some of these guys who we look up to, Kanye West. I don't know, but I'm not that. I'm myself. I'm Tariq Misan. That's like my real name. My name is Tariq Mizan Brown. I've had so many rap names, from TMB to True Master Born to Ski Mask to Trill Farrell. I think that's it. But yeah, like Trill Farrell was probably one of the biggest ones. But yeah. And, and then it was just like, I went back to just being myself, like, let's just be Tariq Mizan. And, sometimes I just feel like, hey, I'm just Tariq Brown, which is my government. But yeah, it's still, it represents, the fam, my grandfather. Every time I hear that last name, I think of my grandfather.
That's dope, man.
So
that's awesome. Wait, so let me tell you this. One of the things I was thinking of is when you were talking about the OP1. So there's like there's areas or there's features on the OP1 / OP1 field that I have not yet.
Oh, I want one of those too.
You're gonna have to cop one, because I was gonna say when you were talking about
I definitely want one,
tape
man.
thing.
I've been looking
Yeah.
at it like, but it's so much. It's gear lust.
I know,
bro.
but and I want to,
Because I'll get something and then I'll be like, no, I gotta use this.
yo,
But I got so many other
yo,
toys and they're all
yes,
over.
and that becomes
So like,
dangerous.
I have to trick myself. I have to sometimes go find like a blanket or something and like put it on top of. Because I'm looking at machines that's like over here like laughing at me because they're like, yeah, you should be messing
Yeah.
with me, but you over there messing with that
Yeah.
Octatrack. Look
Right,
at you.
right. That's too funny, man. And it's so true. It's so true. And I'll tell you this, this is like a honest thing that I'm experiencing right now. Like one of my biggest goals, and then I'll ask a question about the OP1 with regards to the features, bouncing around a little bit, but that's perfectly fine. Was when I started this YouTube channel, I was like, yo, I've made it once I get to a point where I'm able to get gear. Like some of these other people that I see, they get gear from companies, right? Partner with them and they get it and make video.
Yeah.
Like that's the dream, right? At that time.
Bro, you need to teach me that. I still haven't got that. I got to the point where they put me on the website and they like put me on their little it was only for Poly Tracker. They're dope,
I need to spend
bro.
more time with
But
that.
they shot
yeah.
me out. They did an interview with me. But I've had conversations with these companies like Roland, Akai, but they always, fall through. Even TE, like I was supposed to literally go to Detroit with TE, but it fell through. So we're definitely I'm definitely close, but I'm still I'm trying to figure it out.
Please.
So when I figure it out, YouTube guys, I'm going to teach you guys. But right now I'm still figuring it out
Please
myself.
do a couple things. Please do like not realize, but just continue doing what you're doing, but which is like what the goal is, what you're working towards. So like know that it's going to happen, which I think you do know. But then also
it is attainable.
1,000% attainable. It's I did it. If I can do it, you can. If the next, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's doable.
Man.
But then the next piece is like what you've done already in this conversation. We'll take it offline, like on Instagram, phone calls or whatever. When I go for my walks, I'd be happy to chat with you. There's things that I learned.
Yeah, man.
There's things that I learned that it's like, this is an effective way to help your chances. Let's put it that way, right? And we can talk through some of those things. We can talk through. I even thought about like,
bruh, every interview podcast that's thrown at me, I'm doing it. I remember a couple years ago I did a gun podcast that blew me up a little bit, and then I did recently the homie T-Mac, and he's been interviewing all the local people out here. He interviewed me. And it just dropped yesterday, and I was just like, man, this is dope. But like, I love to see more content.
Yeah.
It's and then just little stuff like little write-ups. But it's dope because I'm such an independent guy. Like I'm literally like just in my basement, just dreaming big every day. A lot of times it feels crazy that it can reach these places, but I want to like be more focused with it because, I know that there's a market probably in Australia or somewhere in Europe, or somewhere in Asia, some country that just would love to read Mizan. So thank you, bro, because you're helping me reach these places, at least get out of my basement. Because a lot of times when you're, in these areas like where I'm at, you get very local minded. You're like, okay, well, I'm a Coloradoan person, but at the end of the day, I don't feel like a Colorado person. I feel like a California person still, even though I lived a lot of places. It's just that's what, that's the place that's home, and that's the place that kind of gave me a lot of these sensibilities.
1,000%, man. Yeah, like I said, I'm honored to do it, and that's one of the things that I didn't even realize. I guess I did realize it, right? It's like these conversations are multifaceted because I learn stuff, I enjoy it, my guests learn and enjoy it, but then it's giving my guests an opportunity to be introduced to my audience, and that's an important thing, right? Because little by little, that just continues to grow. Like my dad's been watching a lot of these episodes, and it's been great. Like I love that. I'm like, most of the time, people that are the closest with me, and maybe you could relate to this, they're not the ones who are gonna, consume the content that we put out as often because they are family or they're friends. They'll support if we ask or whatever, but they know us as Kevin, not Khordmaster. Whereas the person who encountered my content, or me through my content, it's a different sort of thing. They look at me in a total different way as, friends and family.
And that's so weird when you see people that know you from your content. Because I work at like Guitar Center, and I've had people come in and they're like, "Bruh, I've seen your videos,"
cool.
and I'm like, "Whoa, damn!"
Wow.
And even when I worked before that, I worked at a gas station for a minute, and that was like the weirdest job. But people will come in and be like, "Bruh, you got the da-da-da-da." And I was like, "What?" And it's like, "Yeah, I seen your videos."
Wow.
He's
That
like,
is
"Oh,
cool.
snap.
Yep.
That's crazy."
Yep.
Like, it's cool, but it's
different.
It's what you want, but it's weird when it happens. It's like, "Oh shit." You watch these videos and they're like, "Yeah, man, I saw you just drop a video this morning." And I'm like, "Whoa, what? People actually watch this? Dope."
Yep.
It's tight, but it's just, still crazy.
You're so right about that, because until people, and I've learned this too, until people say something to you, like they tell you that, I watched that video, I really enjoyed it, until you get that, you really don't know. It is kind of lonely, and kind of you putting the content out, you see the numbers, so you're like, okay, some people are watching this, but you don't know who's watching it. You don't know exactly what they feel about it, unless if they go that little extra step.
Yeah.
And for me, the time that people do that for me, like, yesterday, someone I interviewed, I don't have one down here, but there's this natural supplement called Magic Mind, which is like a much healthier version of like 5 Hour Energy, for example, but it's all natural ingredients. It has like matcha and nootropics and these healthy things that I don't fully understand, but it helps you with focus, right? It helps you with focus. You take a shot of it and you're not like wired.
Yeah, I need to try that.
I'm gonna hit you on that too. You're ready to go. You're focused. I love the product. I had a chance to have the founder of this, $1 million company, super successful startup on. I talked to him yesterday. He's also a TE, a big fan of TE products, right? And I'm trying to think of.
I mean, TE is tight, man. It has like a cult status almost.
They're
like,
incredible, man.
Like
they.
And then I feel like they're forward thinking. They're like, "Hey, I know everyone's over here doing these big boxes over there, but we're gonna just keep doing our little tiny ones.
Yeah.
You guys gonna buy them or you're not?" But I'm like, man, they look pretty tight to me.
Yeah, I mean, talking to, the thought about the guy, his name is James. He said he gave me some feedback. Like he basically said, like, "Yo, your videos on your channel have been hugely, helpful, inspiring to me, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "I encourage you to put your Venmo in the description, because I'm sure that other people like me." Like, he was like pouring into me, like saying like, "Yo, it's like super helpful that you're doing these videos, so keep it." Like, he was, and it made me feel good, because obviously at a time you really don't fully know what's moving the needle and what's not until you kind of get that feedback. So that was one thing. And then with regards to TE, I had a chance to meet with head of marketing and a few other people in the city not too long ago. Bro, it was the best meeting of my entire life. Why? Because we're talking, with other peers of mine, just like you, that happen to be in New York, like 4 of them, who I had a chance to meet in person, and then the head of sales. And just, while I was excited to talk about the new things coming out and this and that, what was not infinitely more, because that was very exciting, but what was a lot more exciting to me was just like picking the brain about the philosophy of this company that is just so different than any other company that I've experienced, that I've talked to, right? They're located, they don't do things like we do in the States here. They don't do things even like Europe, for example, in their words. They kind of have just like a different, like in the States, we have like this top-down model with like the CEO of a company and then everything trickles down. So it's like not that at all. I think he even did like this type of thing where there is a owner, CEO, but everyone's kind of on the same level. And I think with regards to shareholders, he talked about this as well. Like a lot of companies here, I used to work for Verizon, right? So we have a board of directors, shareholders, and like the things that we do have to be like 1,000%. They're only driven around money and increasing shareholder value, like things that are going to make these people more money. That's it. Whereas TE, they're free to like make and create whatever they want to make, because they don't have that, from my understanding, they don't have that extra thing where it's like, hey, we think this will be cool to make this like the desk, for example. I don't have the desk here. I mean, I would like to have the desk here, eventually maybe or whatever, but I'm not going to drop 15 or whatever personally, and that's fine. But the thing is that like they make these things that, of course, everyone's not going to be a fan of everything they do when they drop something new and it's not a new OP1 or something like that or new OPZ or whatever. But the fact that they're able to do that and just be free with what they're creating, I think, is a breath of fresh air,
Yeah, they partnered with Ikea, bro. Like,
exactly.
I was getting teenage engineering, like speakers and all type of stuff from Ikea at one point, and I was just like, man, this is so sick. So yeah, man, TE is dope. I feel like the reason they can do that is because they're not a company that probably has a whole bunch of debt to the point where they're like, oh man, we have to make these, we have to do this because we're but I don't really know their situation. Hopefully they don't get bought by Akai's parent company who's buying everybody, but maybe we'll see.
Right. I was gonna say too, one of the ideas that I had, so with my OP1/OPZ experience, I'm a much bigger fan in terms of the workflow of the Z. It spoke to me immediately. The one I'm still figuring out, and I'm getting closer, like how to use it in a way that makes sense for me. But one of the things that I like yesterday, I was at a cafe yesterday. I took the OPZ out with the TX6 mixer, did like a little live stream, and bro, the Z is just I love it so much. I love the performance aspect. I love how small it is, how I can just have headphones on. I could be standing up and like a Game Boy and just be like experiencing and remixing my music on that performance track on the fly. It's just too nice.
My homie Bubba Fly uses the Z and the POs a lot. He's he's crazy with it. But the Z is sick. The complaint I had, the lack of the screen. And then it was the build quality, because the one that I had, the encoders, they kept
popping out or something, or
coming up. Yeah, popping up. So it's like it felt like a Lego piece to me. But I made some cool stuff on it. I definitely sometimes thinking about getting another one, but I don't think I'll go down that route.
You had one already, and you're rocking with the Octatrack a lot now. It sounded like.
To be honest, I'm mostly an MPC guy. Like I started on like MPC 1000, so I had a lot of MPCs, but I get bored of MPC because I guess I've used it for so long. And I've had so many, and then it was like a whole MPC gate this year with the MPC X, the retro edition or whatever, the special edition one. So it was just like it just got weird.
What about this?
But I always liked Octatrack. I think I started my channel with just the Digitac. It was one of the ones I first was doing on my channel, and so I like the Electron workflow. The thing about the Octatrack was I was getting into it like really heavy, and then my you know the Dave Rossum SP1200.
No, I don't.
Okay, so it's like the reissue of the SP1200 from like 1987, like the old school drum machine. But Dave Rossum, he was the one who created it. He made another one, and you put in the order, you wait a year, it comes. So that was like one of my like a year. That was one of my Grail machines. So when that came, I was Octatracked out. I was like just every day Octatrack, and then I got that and I started learning that. And I don't know, it's a different workflow because it's more of that old school. Like you gotta listen, and it's 2.5 second per channel. It's different. And then the old school ones, they limit you to 10 seconds of sampling time. The new one, you get 20. So,
double up.
And this is in the world of, we got
more than that.
unlimited sampling time. Yeah. Like, come on, man. But, so I got into that, and that kind of pulled me out of my Octatrack. And then when I got back to like, okay, I want to jump on this again, I was kind of like forgetting how to use it. So it's one of those things that you got to really sit and, kind of wrap your head around and like use it every day. But when you use it every day, it's easy. You're just flowing with it. But if you don't, you forget how to do little stuff. And then, or your son, like my son yesterday, I was making a beat, and 2 times in a row he comes and he pushes a button combination, and I don't know what is he pushing. He just erased the beat, and I was just, like, what did you do? Like, you need to teach me this so I could protect myself from you. But yeah, he would just keep coming, and he would just push the same 2 buttons, and it'd just be like the beat was gone, and I was just like, what just happened there? So there's still a lot of secrets about that machine that I don't know. Like they have a thing called parts. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. I'm still trying to wrap my head around just using the looper, because I really want to be able to play a synth in there, and it just loops in time, and it's easy. I just haven't figured out how to do it, but I have my little workarounds. But yeah, I've been playing with that a lot recently,
cool,
for
just
sure.
to have, like you mentioned it earlier, you have a lot of gear in your studio, and you're leaning into you have a few more than a few. You're leaning into like what you're enjoying in this season. Right now it's this, maybe later it's something else. And I was gonna,
but it's still the OP1 every day though, because it's like I be literally always, man, because it's a great sketch pad. And then it's also, it's a sample holder for me. It has my drums, my the Tarikh Mizan more drums, or whatever I'm going to call my drum kit. It has that, so I can just get it real quick and put it on any machine, because it's already there and it's ready to go. But it's portable too. You can just make something, take it home, flip it. It's so many things you can do with that OP1, and then the feel looks even tighter. It looks like it's more like like premium. And then the cool thing about Teenage Engineering, you were really bringing up a lot of good things about them. They kind of make their items that's like it's almost art. Like the fact that they're in the MoMA, but how it looks, the design, it has an aesthetic. There was a point where one of my keys was broke, and I couldn't even use it because the aesthetic was off. But I hit up OP1, or I hit up TE, and they ended up sending me another one, some more keys, and now it's back, and it's better. Because with the key off, man, you like, man, it's key, bro. Missing keys on there. Yeah, it's really sad.
And you're so right. Having that thing sit. But I was talking to someone not too long ago, this guy named Why Not on Instagram. He's also a huge fan, of T's equipment. But yeah, just having that device, how nice it looks like on the table, on your desk. It's just so inviting to go turn it on and just mess around with it and just create something. And to that point, one of the things that I want to do and will do and have been thinking of is there's so many features in the OP1 and OP1 field that, like the sequencers, for example, like specifically, what I'm fascinated about, I want to find, it doesn't have to be the best, but someone who uses each of the sequencers as like, excuse me one sec, coming off of a cold, it's been like kicking my butt for like almost 2 weeks now. It's crazy, but getting there slowly but surely. Thank you. Man.
Feel better, bro.
That. But someone who, like, I want to find that person out there who uses the sketch sequencer on the OP1. And whoever that person is that uses it and uses it in a way that's like, that could teach me, that I can feature them on this platform and then maybe inspire others. I want to, like, have that conversation. Like, I know what it...
I've definitely used it, but you're making me...
Turn that thing on. The sketch is like, you can draw...
I think it's dead though, because I was using it last night, and I think
so you weren't joking about using it all the time, see?
Nah, bro. Like I was literally in the like I'm pretty sure the beat on the octa track was just me, like all sounds off the OP1, because it's just a great sound source, man. Like literally some of the synths I've heard on there is just crazy. Once again, I'm not a keyboard player, but I can definitely put
that's why we gotta get you. We gotta get you in that Patreon, bro. Told you,
man. I'm definitely trying to, man. I definitely, that's one of my goals, brother. Because I just want to see the Patreon space because I see a lot of people with it, but I never really experienced it. But also, I'm trying to learn, and learning is important. Like, I watch all these little kids, learning piano.
And I had I'll tell you this, I had no idea that the community or the user, the group, the artist, whatever existed that like about buying sample packs and buying loops and all that stuff. When I first started making music, when I was 16 years old, was on a Yamaha motif. As a person who was always, always like into
a motif though. I always wanted a motif.
My dad said, "Yo, Kev, if you want to, take this music thing serious, I'll go literally on my 16th birthday. I'll go half and half with you." We went to Guitar Center, your place of work, and went half and half on one. And he got me a 6. And I say all that to say, like, for my whole life being into the keyboard and sequence synth based workflow is like my bread and butter. And so I never knew that a community existed of like people who like that a marketplace of loops and samples and all that stuff until like semi recently, right? Once I started making content a little bit like several years ago. And so once I realized that that's an area like what I see for myself on my Patreon and what I teach and everything like that. There is a void, a market of people like you, I think, who rely on those things. And you said it earlier in the conversation. You want to be able to play your own stuff to sample and to create and stuff.
Yeah, man. It's like I want to be let me knock on wood real quick. But I wouldn't mind having a big record where old school artist is like, man, taking all that publishing, but it's such a big record. But at the end of the day, everybody's sampling. Like I be going to these beat ciphers, and I'm probably just like everybody else. But it's like I want to separate myself, and people who can play keys and make their own melodies, and like you said, like make loops right now. Making loops is powerful. Like like producers aren't doing shit but just taking a loop, putting some drums under it and rocking out. But if you can make that loop, bro, it's over. So that's what my whole mind state been like. Okay, let me figure out how I can make loops quickly. So that's why I was looking into Looper Pro. That's why I've been looking at like the RC505 or little stuff like that. But I don't need none of that stuff. I got stuff at the house, so I just got to use what I got. But I'm trying to always find different workflows to bring out loops, because I feel like that's going to be important, man. Like and then like you saying, like you can sell them. People want to buy them. They want construction kits. Me, I remember I came from, and you came from the keyboard, but when I was in hardware, I came from like an MPC 1000. It had no sounds. So you had to go put sounds into it. And to be honest, it would be within these last couple years where I started to I got a, what is this thing called? JV 1080. It's a rack synth. And I was like, oh man, this is the old school sounds from like the 90s and the 2000s. This is crazy. And then I ended up getting the MPC Key 61.
Do you like it?
That was cool.
I just got it a couple days ago.
You have that?
Right back. Well, can you see it or no?
Oh, okay, sorry. I got my computer behind me. So
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. But, no worries. But it is behind me there, yes. How do you like it?
I'm definitely going to learn from this one and put it in front of me.
So you don't even see me, you just hear me.
No. I see you when I look back, but
well, you're doing remarkably good for not. I couldn't tell that was the case.
Nah, well, I'm trying. Like I told you, I really want to do more interviews. Back in the day when I was a kid, I used to want to be an actor, so I would do extra work. I was on Big Mama House, Spider-Man, Love and Basketball. In the back somewhere, but I was there. But in Love and Basketball, you can see me watch the basketball scene. Martin and the little kids playing in the back. There's like some kids on roller skates or rollerblades, and I was one of those kids, and we're like at the fence.
That's dope.
You can see me, the tall kid. I think I had a gray shirt on. That was me. But But yeah, man, I used to want to be an actor. I mean, I probably still do. I mean, dream big, bro. Morgan Freeman didn't get popping till he was in his 50s. So, my mom tell me that all the time. She was like,
sure. I'm going to title this episode "Love and Basketball Star Tariq."
Yeah, right. That was just me. I'm going to Crenshaw my first year, and they were like, "Hey, we got extras. You could be extra in this new movie." And then basically they paid us like $50 and a box of Church's chicken.
Real
talk. Yeah. And we were in the back. I don't think I see myself in that movie, but in the Big Mama house, I did see myself, which was crazy as a little kid. You're nuts, like, what the hell? And then now I'm like, this movie's probably pretty problematic, but
looking back,
it is what it is. It's
that's
just
dope, man. Well, listen, we're approaching an hour, so I just want to say, again, just definitely appreciate the time, and I look forward to keeping the conversation,
thank you.
Flowing offline, man, because I think that there's a lot that we have in common, and I would love to, like I said earlier, I'd love to sit down with you for like a 30-minute, or not sit down, I'll probably go for one of my walks, but like just any questions that you may have on YouTube or whatever that I can help with. Yeah.
I'm definitely going to take advantage of that. But world, definitely check me out. YouTube, Hypebeast Dad is the channel. My name is Tariq Mizan. Go follow me on IG. That's official Tariq. That's official, and then TARIKH. But yeah, man, I'm just a cool Hypebeast Dad. Just trying to make it for the fam. Dream big and live off this art, man. And I appreciate you, Khordmaster, for allowing me to come over here and drop some of these keys and be on your platform, and because that's just awesome, man. This is one of the first times I was able to do that, like podcast style like this for music, or maybe it's not, but this one is definitely special. So thank you
for sure.
Yeah. It's definitely the best one. Come on, man. By far. I wish I had my cowboy hat on.
That's for round two. That's for round two.
That's the only thing.
We're gonna have you again. You're just gonna come on the episode with just a cowboy hat on.
Oh man, you said it. Hey guys, you heard it here first.
All right, my guy. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Do something nice and special for the wife. Hope you guys enjoy.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah, man. I think she might be mad at me. I'm gonna be honest, but I'm going.
You got an opportunity to make it up now, and then knock it out the park.
Yeah.
Bro, have a great one.
For sure.
And I'll talk to you later. Peace. All right, brother. I asked you 3 seconds ago, but I'm gonna ask you again. How you doing today, man?
Man, I'm blessed, brother.
Good morning so far?
Yeah, man. It's pretty chill. It's actually my wife's birthday, so we're just getting started.
Awesome.
About to get the festivities going.
Good stuff. What's on the agenda for today?
Definitely some food, and then some vibes. Hopefully some time away from the kids, but
they're
probably gonna be coming too. We'll see.
Gotcha. How old are your kids?
I got 4 of them, so 12, 10, 8, and then 2.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Isn't fatherhood and parenthood just an amazing thing, man?
Yeah, it's definitely a blessing, man. It definitely makes you work harder. Sure.
That, yes. So I have a 16-month-old daughter at home, and just kind of brand new to the father scene, and along with the beauty and the love and all that stuff that you've experienced 4 times over the past several years. What you just said is definitely where my mind is right now. It's like you said, it makes you work harder. A lot of the stuff that I do, I've been blessed that things not came easily, but like I've been blessed to work hard and have focus to kind of get things done in my life. But now it's just ratcheted up a little bit so that I can provide for her in the best possible way that I possibly can. And it's an honor to be able to do that,
Yeah, that's facts, man. Yeah, it's like that feeling like when the baby come out, it's like you definitely feel it. You feel the energy. So it's a shift for sure. And yeah.
People said leading up to, my daughter being born, people, everyone has opinions on what to expect and things like that. So a lot of people were like, the moment your first child, or just any child, the moment your child is born, like in that instant, in their opinion, like everything changes in that exact moment. And for me, it didn't even happen that way, bro, because it was shortly after that. It was like by the time I had a chance to just get my bearings, when we're talking like, I don't know, 12 plus hours of labor and just no sleep and all this stuff and supporting the wife and everything, I was just like, I was so happy that she was here, but I needed like to like process everything emotionally, physically, all that stuff. Even though I guess I'm speaking like I'm the one that gave birth, like saying physically, but you know what I mean. I was like exhausted, I was like drained and stuff. But shortly after, it absolutely does change things for the better, and just a blessing that I'm blessed to have a chance to experience fatherhood. You know.
Yeah, I definitely feel the same way, man.
Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely you know, it's not like how our parents age or their parents age, but you know, it's our turn. So
yeah.
it's trippy, man, because I still, like, I'm from LA, and I remember like when I was like 16 or something, you know, going playing in the streets or playing in the park, and guys who were my age, they seemed like they were ancient, bro. And now I'm here, and I'm like, wow, that was like a flash.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah, every day is precious for sure.
Puts things in perspective. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So, actually, going on what you just shared, a question that I like ask my guests, I would like to know kind of what you were like growing up.